Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. John Kelly Profiler here, and welcome. Welcome to part 40 of our very, very sad series, Who Killed Libby German and Abby Williams? Let today be the day, okay? Also, I want to send our deepest condolences and sympathies out to Hoosier the Bruiser, his family and friends. James Bauer, family and friends, we're so sorry to hear about Hoosier the Bruiser's death. We like James very much. I really enjoyed him. I got a lot out of him. I thought he was very talented. And I'll tell you what, he could really dance and entertain. God bless you, James, wherever you are. Also, my book, Discovering Lazarus. A lot of you have asked, John, how did you become a profiler? Here it is, condensed version from drug addict to social worker, psychotherapist, addiction specialist, to profiler, the good, the bad, and the ugly of John Kelly, Discovering Lazarus. Wherever fine books are sold. We've been asked recently about profiling people on the latest news. As you know, there's been a lot of good news out there recently on Libby German and Abby Williams. And a lot of people have asked us to do some profiling on different people of interest that have popped up. We will not do that, okay? The best way to handle this is to go to our previous profile. We are extremely confident in it. We did it 2 years ago, okay? We are still extremely confident in our profile of 2 years ago. We'd like you guys to watch the vids today, and you can mix and match. We've condensed everything. It's real short, but it'll give you a lot to talk about, and we'd like your feedback. We want to hear a lot of comments from you because we think you'll get a lot out of it and you'll find it very interesting. Shout out to the Murder Sheet. Murder Sheet is fantastic. The news they put out recently is just right over the top. Definitely want to take a look at some of this stuff, some of the interviews they got on the Murder Sheet. It's on YouTube, podcast. You know, they're really good. They're really professional. A lot of good information. They've got some good insight information from people that knew the different players. You know, I have to tell you that we did our profile, as you know, 2 years ago, and really with no info from Ellie on the crime scene, manner of death, motive. You know, Ellie has been completely airtight on this. So I think you're going to find it interesting. We thank you all for your feedback, your tips, everything we've gotten and still will get. We'll go over to law enforcement. We'll make sure they get it. We'll make sure they follow up on it. You know, our profile has not changed in most of the cases, that we work evolve. This case has not evolved because we can't get any information. So the profile has not evolved, okay? Let me change that. The case could be evolving right now in a big way. It seems like it's moving in the right direction, but our profile cannot evolve, okay? It has to be based on information to evolve from LE, and there is no information, solid information from LE that we can use in the profile. We're not going to try and put a square peg in a round hole, just because somebody popped up in the news. We're not going to do that. We're going to live by something we feel very, very confident in, and that's in the profile we did 2 years ago without any information from Ellie. As you know, we were blind, looking at it blind and looking into the dark. So we're very confident in our profile. We're interested in what you think about our profile based on the news that's taking place right now. Okay, and see what you think about it and how it fits with various people of various interesting people, let me put it that way, that are popping up, okay? Because the police have not called anybody a person of interest, so I'm not calling any of the people a person of interest. I'm going to call them interesting people, okay? So we still feel confident and we feel it's very relevant. We're also covering a condensed portion of our profile here in these vids. Like I said, we did a couple of years ago, and we'll put a full link to the video if you want to watch the video in its entirety where we go into more detail on why we came up with these profile points. Okay, most of you have probably seen this before, but I think you're going to enjoy looking at it again, or going over it, or just going over the short, very short version of our profile based on the latest news. With that all being said, have a great day. Please continue to subscribe. We love your comments, so please continue to comment. Most importantly, stay safe out there. Okay? It's rough out there. These are some mean streets these days. Be careful. Take care of yourself, and God bless. Thank you so much.
I want to thank you guys so much for the work you've done on this. We've done as best we can do with this partial profile, and we'll see where it takes us. We have we believe is a very sadistic white male, 5'8" to 5'10", weighs approximately 200 pounds. Please let me know if I miss anything. Very well organized and structured. Has a very visual primary intake sense. Would probably be into some kind of hands-on visual type of job, as we've mentioned earlier. Also, what does he do in his fun time? Probably visual things. His primary visual intake sense, he's going to be focused on doing visual things. The other thing we talked about is he's not a typically social person, could be seen as odd or weird. He has a drastic need to control because he has such a low self-esteem, such a low self-worth. Tries to cover that up with his pathological narcissism. So by being the guy, the man in control, probably into hunting, extremely knowledgeable about that particular area, knows it very well. And, I would say he's somewhat of a visual bragger. Let me show you this. Let me show you that. Let me show you what I got over here. Here's a deer I got over there. Here's a fish I caught over here. So I think I think it's safe to say he's that kind of person, because the only thing he has going for him is what he can capture, control, and probably kill. That's his claim to fame in a lot of different ways. And again, like I said, could be focused into reading more for whatever reason, and looking at, I believe too, porno. Violent porno. I mean, it's all over the internet. Violent porno is. Do you guys agree with that? That'd be something he'd be interested in.
Sure. Yeah. Well, certainly porno in general, and maybe specifically more sadistic, sadomasochistic
There it is. Yeah.
kind of activities. Yeah.
How about you, Frank?
Yeah, I basically believe that he probably is into pornography.
Something you brought up, and certainly, we have to keep it in mind. We can't dismiss it. Is that maybe he, in some way, had stalked these girls prior to that day, and this wasn't random. He knew that these girls were going to be there that day, and they were going to be going to that bridge. Now, we don't know for sure. What we do know for sure, he was there to sadistically hurt somebody and kill them. But we don't know if he had prior knowledge of those two girls specifically being there that day. So do you have any more you'd like to talk about on that?
Yeah, it definitely appears that this wasn't a random act on the killer's part. It seems pretty obvious that he had some foreknowledge that these young girls were going to be on that trail on that particular day, and and he was equipped for it. He could have run into other people, but he didn't. And to me, if he were, if it were random, we would probably see some like murders close by. But we don't see that in this particular case. So I think when you look at all the circumstances, you have to say this guy probably stalked these kids in some way prior to this particular meeting.